Hello and welcome. I'm Gauhar Raza and you are watching Eureka, a program that introduces a scientist who has made a significant contribution to expand the horizon of knowledge of science. Today, we have a special guest, Dr. Vineet Kumar. Dr. Vineet Kumar very recently got an award for something which looks very mundane, for doing something with soybean. Soybean, which has become part of our food on almost daily basis, not only in India, but across the world. It comes from China, yet the largest soybean production happens in the United States of America. How did this happen? The international community realized in 80s that we are going to face a massive problem of food security. And this is where soybean entered suddenly on the scene. Lots of research was done across the world, and therefore gradually soybean became part of our food. But there were problems, very difficult scientific problems. And here we have Dr. Vineet Kumar to explain some of the problems and some of your work.
Sure.
Very welcome to Rajya Sabha channel and Eureka program. Before we begin to explore your work, let's talk about your childhood.
Yes, please.
It was the parents, it was the ambience around, it was your friends, and more so, there were teachers who encouraged you to do things that you wanted to do. And it was mainly science that you got interested. Later on, when you look back during your school days, you realize that how important it was for this ambience to shape your life and how encouraging your parents were.
Yes, as really I feel that a very congenial environment during the childhood, where the parents are well educated, that really give a kind of boost to whatever you want to do in life.
When did you realize that you do not want your parents to support your education and you wanted to support your education financially yourself?
Yeah, it was like it's like any middle class family, they are not always so free to spend on the things which we want, that too, which is to take a very long process. And the adolescence, as I feel that it's a very sensitive stage of life. You sometimes feel more excessively than it should be. So somehow that feeling came, and I went ahead to support myself. And
so at the same time, you were doing tuitions, teaching others, and also getting educated.
yes, rather that helped me, be conversant about whatever latest in the classes which is happening in the science, and kept on doing the things which I wanted to do in my subject, my agriculture field.
When did you decide that you wanted to do agriculture?
To be very honest with you, it was not in my mind that I am to go for agriculture. It's like any one in the mainstream that you start aiming for engineering, you don't get engineering, you finally end up in some other thing. But whatever you want to do, it's a science. So
you wanted to do engineering?
Yeah, means like.
Was there pressure from the family?
No, nothing like this. No pressure. It was simply there that time. +1 used to be our prep, and then +2 used to be our pre-engineering. So pre-engineering means it's before engineering. So, but based upon the marks of that +2.
What was the turning point? Why did you do agriculture?
agriculture, as I said, that very honest with you, that I couldn't get in engineering, so I started, seeking admission elsewhere, and I got in BSc Honors Agriculture. But once I started doing the things in the first year itself, I felt that rather this field.
Are you confident that had you been engineer, you would have got this national award? Not this national award, some national award.
Very difficult to say this thing.
It's a difficult question anyway, hypothetical in nature.
Rather I felt that yes, this profession is directly related to such masses of the country where we can straight away connected to them and to the
You always wanted to do something for the country. That is how you were shaped, in fact. Are you happy and satisfied that you have done something important for the country and the country has recognized?
Yes, satisfaction. I got a satisfaction to an extent, but not the complacency. I am to carry on.
Scientists are never satisfied.
Yes. We are to carry on still. A lot of things are to be done. And I am aiming for that.
When you decided to do agriculture and then you did your BSc and MSc and then went in for research, at what point of time you realized that you have fallen in love and this is your destiny?
Right in the BSc itself, actually.
You had fallen in love. So is it the love which decided that you will be doing research on soybean, or it was soybean research that decided that you will fall in love?
No, soybean actually. It is our Agriculture Research Services ICAR exam. We get through that exam, get selected, and then ICAR deputes us somewhere actually. So my first posting was in National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources, New Delhi. And since my better half was in Central Potato Research Institute, Modipuram, so we wanted to be at one place. We requested our organization, and they transferred us to Indore, Directorate of Soybean Research. And soybean was going to be a very prime crop, especially a lot of work needed to be done in the crop. So it was something very good which has happened, that we landed up in soybean and started working on the crop. Now it's 17 years.
Your wife shares this award with you. Yes, she has also been awarded on the same day. When did you decide, both of you decide, that soya bean is a very important crop, and then you should use all the knowledge that you have gained in two different areas that will help you do something worthwhile for the country?
I think it was 98 when we joined Directorate of Soybean Research. At that time it was National Research Center Soybean. And practically there was no laboratory actually, and our organization started supporting us, and we built up a laboratory over there. And then she was from plant breeding discipline, and I am a biochemist, and started working together on overcoming certain biochemical constraints which are there in soybean, which somehow impede the utilization of soybean in food uses. Of the total country's production, hardly 5 to 7% goes into the food uses. And mainly there are certain quality trait problems in that. So
what exactly is the problem with soybean? It's a very, very, it has high protein content, one of the major sources of protein. That is why it's so popular. What was the problem with soybean that you wanted to crack?
So it is from the India point of view actually, since in certain Southeast Asian countries, where the soybean is in their traditional food, unlike those countries, we are not used to the fermented soya product actually. And when unfermented soya product, when we talk about soya milk or tofu, we talk about. So there are certain anti-nutritional factors, they always remain there if we don't give the heat treatment for 20 minutes. We call it a,
Right.
and that anti-nutritional
You have
factor.
to boil it or
Yeah.
heat it up.
So we need to boil
break
soybean
down
seed.
certain components.
So minimum for 20 minutes, soybean need to boil before mixing with the wheat when we say, okay, if you want to fortify wheat flour with the soybean. And in all the soya preparation which we do, that heat treatment must go for the moist heat treatment, minimum for the 20 minutes. So we thought of that how we can eliminate that particular anti-nutritional factor which is there in the regular soybean seed. Genetically from the seed, and
That would reduce the whole process of treatment of soybean, which is a very tedious process, boiling it for 20 minutes.
Yes.
I have to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue the discussion. Welcome back. We were discussing that your special interest developed into the area of soybean research. This is one of the major source of 40%. In fact, it has proteins, and it can really give food security in those terms.
Yeah, nutritional security especially.
Nutritional, especially nutritional security to especially the weaker sections, economically weaker sections of society. But it has a kind of inhibitor of Kunid's enzymes.
Kunid's trypsin inhibitor.
Yeah, which are part of your small intestine and duodenum. So that was a problem that you cracked, right, for the country. How important is that investigation of yours?
As I said, that boiling treatment which is required to inactivate Kunid's trypsin inhibitor, it's a time-consuming process, and especially when we recommend to the people that okay, to take all the health components of soybean, you mix it with the wheat, but before that you must boil it, and this step is generally skipped at the household level. So delivering a kind of seed which is
so it will create a problem in your stomach if you take it without boiling it for a longer period of time.
Yeah,
that was the problem.
Yeah, Kunid's trypsin inhibitor that should not remain active in the final product, whatever we take. Even at the industry level, they are taking care that yes, it has to be heat inactivated, but for doing that, they have to spend lot of expenditure, in the form of the heat energy to inactivate Kunid's trypsin inhibitor. So getting the industry also such kind of seed which is free from Kunid's trypsin inhibitor. So it's going to be a big advantage to them. Already 2 companies in the country, one leading Indian corporate, ITC, has taken over that Kunid's trypsin inhibitor free seed from us.
It is already commercialized.
It is already commercialized. It has gone to ITC, then it has gone to
and now this particular variety, which we are talking about, which you have genetically modified.
Not genetically modified, actually. It's not a GMO. It's not a GMO. It is through the conventional breeding.
Okay.
With the expedition, or what should I say exactly in a very layman language, using certain molecular markers actually, we have expedited the development of this variety. So using those markers, which we have now, we have developed these KTI-free genotypes. So they are completely a non-GMO product. And
you don't want any controversies around.
Yes, it's a non-GMO product, and it is through the marker-assisted molecular breeding actually we have developed.
Now, after this is introduced, or it is already introduced in the market, you don't have to boil it anymore.
Yeah, for inactivating the Kunid's trypsin inhibitor.
And you have also done something for
Off
flavor
Yes.
switches.
Yeah, off flavor. Whenever we prepare any soya product from a regular soybean seed, uh, a kind of flavor develops. Some people call it beanie flavor, some call it off flavor, to which our Indian populace is not much accustomed to.
They don't like the smell.
Yes, they don't like that particular smell. Now, that smell is because of certain enzyme present in the soybean seed. And since soybean seed has oil content also, so the oil has certain fatty acids.
It's a major source of oil.
Yeah.
Across the world.
So that particular enzyme start acting upon certain fatty acid present in the soya oil fraction. And it generates certain kind of ketone and aldehyde compounds in a technical words. Let me say that little bit. And those ketone and aldehyde compounds give some kind of flavor, and to which our Indian population is not much used to that. So then
you have successfully been able to switch off that off flavor.
Yeah, to a great extent, rather, I should say, because we have eliminated one major isozyme of that particular enzyme. Lipoxygenase, we call it, that enzyme, and its particular form, which is the major culprit for that off flavor, that we have removed.
Soya bean, when we look at it in the market, is something very mundane, something very ordinary. How much time did you take it to come to this stage to introduce new variety at the national level?
Unfortunately, whatever the breeding programs earlier which were going on, they were more focused on for enhancing the yield and for other, crop growth point of view, other parameters, not from the
Which was
quality
your wife's area of work?
Yes, you can say like that. So then on the quality traits, not much people had started when we commenced on this particular program on the quality traits. So, and we thought of to enhance utilization of soybean in food uses, which presently stands hardly 5 to 7%. Why not deliver such kind of soybean seed, which is really food grade, and the products processed from those seeds will not only be safe, but also be very cost effective, and people can use, especially in this fast moving world when the people don't have much time to spend time, especially on the processing, to inactivate by boiling for 20 minutes to the moist heating. So this kind of seed will definitely give a boost for utilization of soybean in the
So how much time did you take to complete this project? To bring it to commercial?
See, it was to bring up to commercialization. It took around 12 years now, I should say, for all these three traits: Kunit strips inhibitor free soybean.
How much time do you spend in the laboratory?
So it is like
both of you.
Very difficult to appreciate yourself, because it will be like that only. But it is work, and you don't care about time, and it goes from morning to till late evening, around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the laboratory.
At times,
the field
titration, etc., goes on overnight, and you have to come to lab.
Yeah, since the work is like that, it's both field and lab, and once these two entirely different things they are there, so naturally it demands time, and
so around 14-15 hours, two scientists forgetting about their family, working for 12 years, and then you crack the problem, which is going to probably change the scenario in the country. I think that's a lot of time spent, and we as consumers take things for granted. Nation needs a lot of basic fundamental research. Would you agree with that?
Yes, any kind of breakthrough work which you want to do one has to forget certain things. And once you are absorbed in your work, uh, you have to sacrifice a lot to crack something
Would you
which
say
really
that
needed to be done.
the financial support to science in the country should increase? Or it is sufficient?
It's a very difficult question. Still, I think ICAR doesn't have any problem as far as finance is concerned. Means for delivering the scientists all kind of the facilities which scientists seek for. Yes, on certain aspect, ICAR is doing its best to galvanize certain things. But as far as finance is concerned, government is doing best as for the agriculture research. I don't have much knowledge about other field, but from agriculture point of view, there is no dearth of the finance as far as my knowledge goes.
Very good. Would you like to sign off by giving a statement for the younger generation?
It's like I remember one quote from Thomas Edison, which
Thomas Alva Edison.
yes,
He has nothing to do with soybean.
yes, but with lot of invention which he has done in his life.
What a great mind.
So he said that genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. So it's your hard work which paves way for all success. It's not that someone has got some brilliant mind or like, it's nothing like this.
Genius is 1%
Inspiration.
And 99% perspiration. Write to us if you have any questions, comments, or remarks. Our email address is eurekarstv@gmail.com. We'll expect a letter from you or an email. That's all for now. We'll come back next week with another as fascinating a personality as Dr. Vineet is. Thank you very much.
Thank you.